Podcast?
Nope.
Nope.
Never the evolution.
Always.
No evolution.
Are we on? We going?
I'm not Darwinian. Yeah, we're rocking.
Rocking and rolling. Welcome to another day.
Topsnap
I was
Podcast. We're not going to drop any F-bombs or S-bombs or cis-bombs, gender bombs. We're going to be very PC today. People are a little irritated at some of the lingo and shenanigans, I guess, that I've pulled. I don't know if it's really shenanigans. This is a censorship.
Censorship.
Yeah, this is a censorshiped podcast to those out there who like censorship.
Exactly. Well, you had it coming from different angles, including, I like to say...
Well, I'm not going to throw anybody in the bus, so don't...
Well...
Just making sure we don't throw buses at people.
I don't want to throw, but somebody asked me to ask you to not talk that way, and I had an issue with it. I really,
Sorry.
I believe in self-expression, and there's a time and place, and overuse is like saying too much. This is how people are going to remember you by. This is maybe your great grandchildren.
Oh, you're going too far. There's going to be a meteor here in a couple of years. So.
Yes. Jay discovered
so
that a meteor is going to hit the Earth in...
Well, somebody tweeted like 2135. There's a big meteor going to hit, or an asteroid. No, it's an asteroid, not a meteor. It's an asteroid that's going to hit the Earth. So, the podcast is meant to
be a form of self-expression, and
I guess
it's
a bit of artwork in itself.
And there's always going to be people who disagree with how you come across. I mean,
and that's their freedom, though.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. What I have a problem is when they take it far as like part of them, like it.
See, that's why I was doing that earlier, because even like right here, it's good.
Okay.
But the closer you are to the mic,
the more the better.
That's just until I can get those. We're gonna have like this little. We're gonna have a quiz thing, not a quiz. What is it? A fucking
evolution of.
This is the evolution of a podcast. Now they sell these little boxes that go in line with the mics, and basically they cut down on the background noise, so you don't have to turn your mics up so much. And that's what I really need. In fact. Chopper Profits. Check out the Chopper Profits podcast if you're into
that was interesting.
Motorcycles or just whatever. If you're looking for something different to listen to, the guy over there, his name is Mike Tubbs. I believe it's Tubbs, Tubbs. Anyways, Mike over there at Chopper Profits. This goes out to you. I like your podcast. It's set up in his garage, like fucking talking about an evolution of a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then also there's another guy at the podcast that I've contacted, Coach K, not Coach K from Duke, but this other guy, the Coach K show. Young guy just started his podcast, and I'd love to have him on here. He sent me his email. I'm going to send him some information back. Maybe he can come on the show. But I revere these guys because they're starting at the grassroots as well, and just like this has started. And
yes.
You get feedback from people. Apparently, I use the F word too. I just use dirty language. I was talking about C and P the other day. Me and Chad, we went to go give a fist bump, and all of a sudden it was like the hand to the hand, and I made a reference, and it was the first. It was like, that's how the podcast started, and so people tune in. That's the first thing they hear.
Stamp that as their impression.
Yeah, the impression, and they turn on. Oh, this guy's a weirdo.
And they didn't want to hear it all. I bet you they didn't even. The majority of those people didn't even hear it out.
I've talked about that before. There's no way they're going to tune into this stuff. So.
But I think it's good awareness. But awesome. Censorship is a free.
Listen, I get it. I really do. I mean, there's some things that I don't want to hear people say all the time, and then if that's the case, then I turn it off. But if I'm trying to get an audience, and I'm not appealing to the audience because of my language, then I kind of have to curb it a little bit. I have to watch my own mouth a little bit. It's not that I can't say the word fuck. It's just that if every other word is that word, and I'm dropping.
And how you say it, it's spelled with the PH.
Well,
anyway,
when I spell it out, when I hashtag the word fuck, I spell it PHUCK.
He's not saying the same fuck that everybody else is saying.
This is for educational purposes only that I'm saying the dirty words here. This is going to be a clean G-rated show. This is what did somebody told me? Somebody told me just the other day, you better stamp the MA on there in the front. I was MA. Oh, mature audiences only. Hey, I'm not going to do that. Listen, if you're old enough to click onto YouTube and you're old enough to find this podcast and get to it, then listen, me and my friends were just talking just now, and by age 13, we were cussing like sailors. It's like nothing. You're gonna be able to hear if you're young and you're youthful. Listen, most of you adults out there, you drop F-bombs and you drop stuff in front of your kids, and you may not even realize it and know it. And just like last night, I was out to dinner with my brother. We went to Lucille's barbecue. Place is badass, by the way. And some crazy shit happened. But to my story first is that, there was a whole table of their friends. It wasn't my group at all, not my crowd. And so all their friends, which are all like parents, so they're all couples with kids. And, they're great families, I guess. They're all doing their thing, but they're not perfect. And I was watching some of the people reprimand, their children, and, I didn't step in. It's not my kids, but I didn't agree with it in here. I wasn't agreeing, really. I would have probably handled the situation differently. Shit, I look at the way my brother and his wife handled the situation with their kids, and sometimes I didn't agree, and I was like, biting my tongue, And again,
that's part of life.
If I ever have kids, there might be somebody looking at how I raise my kids, and they don't agree in it. That's something that we're not going to always agree on as a complete society.
But there's different things that.
You better speak up into that mic.
Okay.
There you go.
How's that better?
Well, that's why I keep moving it this way, so you don't have to bash your knees. That's my thing. I'm always like mic control, pushing the mic in front of somebody. An asshole.
It's getting...
Sorry, a butthole. I'm a butthole. I'm a cornhole. Can I say that? Is that going to not appeal to you guys either, huh?
It's just part of
I'm a tushy hole.
See,
I'm such a tushy.
Part of his personality. He can't help it.
Can't help being a tushy hole. This is gonna be so G-rated.
Speaking of censorship, okay, I got a censorship story for you, and this has brought up a lot of issues. So I do have to say that Keola not here has left kind of a hole, and I loved having your podcast with your mom. Even though it didn't sound as well as you wanted to. And he wants to censorship and not put it on.
No, I'm going to put it on. It's just the vocals on are really bad, and I was going to blend it in because I did a podcast with AJ from OC, and I did one with Maddie G, and some of the audio didn't come out because if I plug in, I've already talked about this before, but anyways, how I plug in my audio, it screws it up, and sometimes it has this like real scratchy, itchy static in the background, and no one's going to tune into that, and I don't even want to listen to it. I'm like, this sucks.
I think but it's evolution of a podcast, and it's part of the history of what we've created.
Okay, I will post the whole thing. Okay,
Thank you.
But one of my point is the priority for me is to post. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a compilation of the 3 podcasts together, since all the audio was screwed up in all of them, and just kind of do it kind of like what the Joe Rogan does when he does like the best of or something like that. You can play segments. I'm going to put them together because they were all within a couple days of each other. I'm going to put them together and just post that, and then you know what, I'll go ahead and post the whole thing
and then let it go and
just
move
let it go and whatever.
Just post them as make it simple on yourself. I think, but I'm not going
to post the audio for those. Like not all the way through, because it doesn't make sense to post just the audio.
It's still evolution of the podcast.
I get it.
And there's I'm sure there's plenty of podcasts out there.
You can't hear it though.
So it's still part of history. You can.
I know, but just because I take a photo and some of the photos are shitty doesn't mean I need to print all those photos. A lot of times I go through my photos that I'm taking and I'm going, oh, that sucked. That was out of focus. That was out of focus. That sucked. And I erase. I delete them all. Bing, 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 bing. And I find one that's good and I go, all right, I'm going to keep that one.
Yes.
And I don't go into Photoshop and edit and make it all pretty.
Point made. Okay, I'm just saying it needs to be on and not censor it.
Yes.
Okay. And then speaking of another censor, it just keeps coming up all over the place. So for me personally, I don't know. This is we haven't done very many podcasts since Keola left, and we miss him very, very much. We did the one with your mom. And then in between that, we went and saw a lot of great music. We got to see, I managed to have 4 shows.
You got to see. I didn't go.
4 shows in 2 weeks. But we did get to go
gloating.
see.
She's gloating.
I'm glowing, too. I'm oozing with the one love. And it was...
Oh, shit.
I needed it.
Okay, I thought this was a P-rated. And he's talking about oozing. PG rated.
Oozing with good vibes is a good kind of, I don't mean any.
It's so hot in here. Jesus God, the AC broke. Sorry.
Anyway, so we got to see lots of great shows, including Dead and Company. And
you got to see great shows, not we.
Okay. Well, you made the decision not to come along with me.
That doesn't matter. That's fine. I didn't go see the shows. I'm saying you got to see Fish. She saw Fish. She saw the Dead and Company over here at Irvine Meadows, and then she went and saw Dead and Company again down in San Diego. And then on her 4th show, she went over and saw Dave Frambili, or what's his name is?
Michael Franti.
Michael Franti.
Yes.
There you go.
Spearhead.
Dave Frambili, Michael Franti, same thing to me, right? I've never seen Mike Franti.
That's why he's talking like this.
No, I just don't know. Come on.
I put Michael Franti in the same category as like a Bob Marley vibe. I think he's got it's just really good energy. And I highly recommend that you check him out so you can enjoy his music as well.
You're such a sweetheart when she's so granola. You're so granola. Oh, book of doozins and the woozins woo. And that's just me being a tush hole. I'm such a tush hole. Tushy. So anyways, I was going to tell you this crazy little story real quick. So we were at the Lucille's and I'm listening to all these different people, their families, and they're talking this and that. And I'm sitting facing like north inside the restaurant, and this table in front of me, full table, kind of almost the size of the table we were sitting at. Bunch of, looked like family and friends or whatever, and this younger guy, he's like 6 foot, probably 15, 16 years old, maybe 17. He stands up, and literally as soon as he stood up, his eyes, I didn't see his eyes, but I would imagine they rolled behind his head, and he went flying forward, hands down, total passed out, like low blood pressure, we found out, because he's on some blood pressure medication. And the guy whacks the crest of his head right here on a sharp-edged. If you guys have ever been to Lucille's, you know what their tabletops are. And if you haven't, it's about like this tabletop. It's super sharp-edged. All the force of his body coming flying down head first, like this.
And you saw the whole thing happen.
Yeah, just immediately he stood up and went flying down, like hands by the side, cracked his head on it, and then hit the ground.
That's traumatic to see somebody go through something like that.
They had somebody grabbed his legs and put his legs up high because of the low blood pressure.
Thank God for people who can act fast like that too, and under the circumstances.
But he was still knocked out when that happened. Then they turned him to the side, and he was throwing up all over. The puddle of throw up on the floor was huge.
That's hardcore.
Oh yeah, it was so sad. It was just sucked to see.
That's painful.
And then ambulance came. They revived him. He was awake and he was conscious. And then they ended up wheeling him out on a gurney. He was holding his own ice bag on his head, which was nice.
Yeah.
Probably took him to the hospital for check him out. Definitely check him out. That was definitely a head trauma right there.
That's so sad.
Blunt force trauma to the head. So that was gnarly. Yeah. And that was just a little story. There was a bunch of shit I was going to talk about this morning. I was in LA at like 4:30, 5 o'clock this morning.
I was up there all pumped.
I was pumped. I was like,
there's all kinds of motorcycle, something with your motorcycle. Check out Jay's awesome video.
Oh yeah, it's the vlog. It's a Topsnap vlog number 3. It's just a little video I put together.
It's actually pretty fucking cool.
Whoa, she's using cuss words. That's so scary.
Because I've never seen anybody do that on a Harley before.
Yeah, so I was changing my tire out. Harley, I got it back from Harley. They said you got some steel belts coming through.
But only try that if you're a professional or professionally trained or trained, right?
No,
you don't want.
Why?
You don't want to give. Well, Jay knows what he's doing. That's what I'm saying.
A sugar shack if somebody goes and gets behind their bike and then crash it like that. I mean, that's your fault for being a tush hole. I was being a tush hole and decided to want to burn out my tire and just get it on video, get a little burnout. And
He was getting a new tire anyway.
I think I mentioned to some of my friends who work at Land Speed Motorcycle Shop over here in Fountain Valley. I think I mentioned that I wanted to rev it, spin it until it popped. I think I mentioned something like that. But so in the video, I'm spinning the tire. I'm burning out. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just kind of got at the brakes. I'm creating smoke and stuff. And I stopped early, and they're like, "What? That's it? I thought you were gonna pop the tire." And I was like, oh, "Okay, I'll pop the frickin' tire if you want me to pop the frickin' tire." So I get on the bike and I rev it more, and this thing's just not going. I mean, I'm revving it. The RPMs are like 6,000. I'm having to control the RPMs back and forth so I don't blow my stupid motor up. And finally, like a minute into it, it finally blows. But it took a long time. It took a lot longer than I thought to pop that tire. And
you burned rubber.
And it burned your rubber, bro. So yeah, there's whatever. So there's a little video on. It's going to be the Topsnap vlog number 3. Cool. Yeah, I wanted to keep this very like an appetizer. This is an appetizer podcast, kind of like come for tapas and beer.
All right.
Well. Yeah, this is a tapas type podcast. This isn't a full like 6-course meal podcast like the last one I did with Mr. Chad Towersey. Thank you very much, Chad.
That was really a cool podcast, I have to say.
I thought it was great.
I heard it way more than most people because you were editing it, and I would hear it over and over. And you know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the stories, and I enjoyed his personality.
Hold on. Let me clarify. When you say editing, what I was doing was putting together the intro and the outro, and I putting
it online, whatever that is.
Well, and I put some captions on there, and then I have to check the audio stuff. And I also make like short little clips to put on there, so some of you people who don't have a lot of time or don't even want to listen to that much podcast, want to hear something that might be interesting out of the podcast, I'm putting clips of they're going to be called Topsnap Top Stories or Topsnap Stories. I think I titled it. So yeah, she got to hear it over and over.
And I thought it was a great podcast.
I thought it was good too. Even Chad called me up and he said, "Hey, it was a great." I thought it was a great podcast, and
people just didn't hear it all the way through because they got it wrong first.
But I owe somebody an apology, and that's to Chad's brother. I apologize, Chad. Chad's brother.
We never mean.
I'm not gonna mention his name because he didn't want his name. It was on the title, and I didn't ask Chad to put it on the title. Like Chad had mentioned it in the last podcast. So if you go back to the podcast, you'll know his brother's name. But other than that, he just didn't want to be associated to it. One, because I was probably cussing too much, and this maybe not be like the type of vibe that he's trying to send out to his family and friends, or whatever the case may be. I just want to put my apologies out there to him. Hopefully this will get to him, and he'll know that I mean that sincerely. I don't mean to discredit anybody's name out there, or to use the associate the name with something that they don't want it to be associated, especially if I just utilize it. Chad mentioned it in the podcast, and since his brother is kind of known throughout Newport Beach, I decided to put it up there as the brother of, and again, he wanted it pulled down. So I pulled it down this morning. It's off, and again, my apologies.
Right.
Apologies to all you out there who don't like the cussing. That's why this is a semi-G rated for
mature audiences.
Should I bleep the F-bombs out? Just beep.
Mature audiences.
I could do that too. I could totally do that.
Mature audiences only.
I could totally do that. Just bleep the apparently we got a party going in the background. Our air conditioning's off, so what we have is the door usually that is shut with the little red light on that's supposed to be on, recording on air. The door's wide open. We just need the air, man. We'd be hotboxing it in here. So we open up the air, open up the door, turn off the air. Air doesn't work. Yeah.
Anyway.
What's going on? Anything else new you want to mention before we wrap this bad boy up?
No, I just think that...
Maybe short and sweet.
Yeah. It's fun to check in. Got some things planned, more things planned.
I hope you guys
talk about later.
I hope you guys have stuff.
I think I'm
planned.
good.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Got some seeds that I'm watering, and
seeds you're watering. I'm watering some seeds. I had contacted this dog. He's like a dog trainer guy. His name is Tom DeLuca. I think it is Tom DeLuca the third. And he trains animals. He trains dogs, and he knows all kinds of shit about stuff about dogs. Sugar Shack about dogs. Sugar Shack. See, I'm gonna learn not to use profanity. It's gonna be a tough one. Anyways, he teaches dogs. He's he's a Huntington Beach local. He's Orange County guy, and that's definitely that kind of thing he's training. Now that we have the background people in the background, hopefully you don't hear them. I
think it's good to wrap it up now.
Yeah, it's wrapping it up because now I'm getting
for another day.
What happens is, real quick, it when I hear the talking in the background, it kind of throws off my concentration. Is that what happens out there when you're working? Real quick story. Yesterday I'm at Land Speed, got my tire changed after I did the burnout, and Eric, we call him Chops, Chopper Man, Choppy Chop Chopper, Chop Salad. On Instagram, he's King of FV. KINGOF. Is it OFFV?
Uh-huh.
King of FV.
He just became my friend on Instagram.
Oh, okay, there you go. That's Chops over there. He's badass. He's a funny guy. He's a little bit different generation, but still like right there with us.
Cool folk.
Cool mofo. He's a cool mofo.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I saw him get perturbed yesterday. People all in his workspace. They were by the tire changing machine when he was there. They were all throughout, in and out of the shop, and I could just see him going, I need to have everybody out of here.
Yeah.
I want to use some verbiage right now that's not appropriate, apparently, but I was outside. My bike was already outside. My tire was done. I was waiting to pay the owner over there at Land Speed, and I was polishing my motorcycle, and there was a bunch of people there, and a lot of people coming by to get their bikes looked at. Some people were having their bikes looked at, but everyone seems to congregate in the shop and around everybody, just to be a part of the vibe. And I could see his frustration level rising. He kicked this metal plate and threw another metal plate, and little Miss Donnie over there, she was going through some emotional shit yesterday, and she was just like, you could see her just like her face just like shit, she wanted to get out of there. Mm-hmm. She just wanted to get the heck out of there, just for a little bit. She didn't want to leave for the whole time. She just wanted to get out of there and reset, reboot.
Yeah, we all need that. I think that's a natural part of.
And shame on you guys for not letting her go and I'm pointing to the guys over there. Yeah, she needed a breather, man. Her head wasn't right.
I think people are more productive if they have that little breather.
For sure. Well, so anyways, I saw Chops get all bent out of willingness, man. He was throwing things, and then all of a sudden he walked outside. So I just need everybody out of here. Like, he just freaked. And it was kind of funny to see him get all flustered, and because it reflected of what
not the only one.
how I get sometimes when if I'm at my shop and a bunch of people come by, and are just kind of interacting.
And you want to work, and they want to socialize and hang out.
It's not when I want to work. It's not that. It's when I'm dealing with a problem that I can't figure out. Yeah. That I'm having a trouble with, and I need to really focus and concentrate. Excuse me. It's not really when I'm working. Because when I'm working, I can BS. And I can deal with that. I can juggle that type of interaction. But when I'm really trying to concentrate and focus on something, and people are interacting with me, or just even in the area, I get it. I understand where he was coming from. So that was interesting. So if you guys are stopped by Land Speed Cycles, beware of how your interaction with them is affecting them, because they might be in some deep thought, tearing apart a motor.
Anywhere for that matter.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't just say that. I can say this in specific because some people from Land Speed or people that watch this might be going to Land Speed, because I got a couple interactions yesterday. A guy named Mike came by. Mikey, sorry. He goes by Mikey. He came by the shop. And he's like, hey, I saw that burnout on the Instagram. I was like, oh, right on, cool. Him and oh boy, this guy on an Indian, I can't remember his name. That's so bad when I can't remember his name. But shout out to you guys. Shout out to all y'all up there. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up because I can feel the vibe. Plus, I got to get to the bank. It's already past 4. Got to get to the bank.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Yeah, have a great weekend. If I don't see you or talk to you guys from then, have a great weekend. Next
week for sure.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. Maybe we'll throw it on a podcast over the weekend. I want to get a couple guys over here from this band. I forgot the name of the band too. There's a band going to come on. They want to play some songs. So maybe I might have multiple cameras. Definitely, actually. I'll have multiple cameras. They're going to set up over here. I'm going to roll the mats up. They're going to set up their band equipment right over here. And they're going to play a couple songs. And then we're going to do an interview. or a podcast or whatever you want to call us, and should be fun. Yeah,
right on.
Anthony over there at the.
So stay tuned.
Yeah,
more to come.
Yeah, more to come. In fact, let me throw down the Instagram there.
Instagram for your.
Well, no, I mean I'm going to give you Anthony's Instagram, and you guys could check out his band on there. So this is where you're supposed to step in and give me filler, lady. While I'm looking on the phone, you're sitting there like all smiling.
I'm looking forward to what kind of music
I need filler, damn it. Shit. Shucks. See, it's hard.
It is hard to process. A good mindful awareness. That's all it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have a little check of your personality and make sure it's how you want to express yourself. So that was this week's lesson.
Here it is.
Yay.
Okay, so it's Andrew Iniguez. How do you spell that? It's INIEUGES.
INIGUEZ. Andrew Iniguez.
Anyways,
I look forward to meeting him.
He's the bassist at Wild Records, and it's Omar and the String Poppers.
Awesome.
I think it's the Desperados. Cool. That's the name of the band, the Desperados. Check them out. The Desperados, YouTube them.
Find
also
on Instagram.
Because he posts all kinds of stuff here about his band and some motorcycles and stuff. Follow him at Andrew Matthew. It's AndrewMathew, Andrew Matthew on Instagram. Follow him and his band. He wants to come on the band. The band wants to come on, so love to have you guys on here. Cool. So check them out. Check me out on Instagram. Its username is USERNAMEISJAY. Username is Jay on Instagram, and see my shenanigans like burning rubber. And you can check out LaLaVa at LaLaVa333 on Instagram. Love you. Thank you for tuning in.
Have a wonderful week, or see you soon.
This was a pretty clean podcast. We only dropped a few bombs for you. That was for you people out there who are wanting a cleaner podcast. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.